In Where Winds Meet, there is so much stuff to do, but it can quickly get overwhelming with the sheer amount of NPCs, vendors, shops, a lot of which you need to keep on top of with regards to weekly and even sometimes daily stocks. So here I present you with a checklist of things you can do as daily tasks and weekly tasks, and it even shows you the countdown timers for that. Huge credit to this guy who shared it on Reddit for all of us, and I'll cover more details later on how you can customize it for yourself. But let's go through everything I found the most important so far. So with this list, you can simply check off what you may have done, and when the countdown resets for the new day, these things should automatically uncheck themselves. I am fully aware this can kind of take the fun out of the enjoyment of the game. So by all means, play the game at your own pace and ignore this altogether. But if you want efficiency, I recommend a checklist for some reminders. So the first thing here is energy consumption. You can click, you can look at a few more details here, but when you open your map in game, you can see here challenge, and these are the activities you can do to spend that energy. You will replenish energy 1 point every 9 minutes, which equates to 160 per day. So you want to be doing these certain activities to spend that to get rewards. Certain ones you can do as solo, beating up these bosses or doing these outposts. But you can also go to the multiplayer aspect, which is the sword trial. You can do joint battles, doing outposts with friends or complete randoms, and taking away these rewards, spending 20 energy per outpost. Or, which I recommend, if you're up for the challenge, you go to the Formless Mountain Pass right now, and you spend 60 energy on these rewards. The reason being is you get this gear, which can help you find good gear for your build, and otherwise use it for tuning. The other amount of rewards are scaled by 3 for the amount of energy you spend versus an outpost. Another really important thing here are the inner way notes, which you get the same amount here for your energy as you do via these bosses. So other than the gear, you're not missing out too much. So don't be afraid if you just want a chilled time to do the outposts. And later on, when we get the new level caps, we'll unlock new content here we can do to spend energy as well to get these rewards. So just make sure you're doing enough throughout the week so you aren't ending up with that energy capped. You generate again 160 every day, so make sure you're not getting to that 500 and then wasting those rewards you could otherwise get. The next one you could do is the joint battle outposts. You may see other people talk about it too, but it's not really worth your time, honestly. At least not right now. You go to challenges here, and in the joint battle, it does say you can get extra rewards. You click this here, and it will tell you clearing all 5 outposts grants clear rewards. Daily claim is 1. And the claim attempts refresh daily, this being the local time. On the checklist, that's in just over 2 minutes. But these clear rewards, you can see here, is only 40 more of these adventure slips. And you can get a lot more of them just by doing other casual content. So it's not something I would really worry about, but I just included it here to make you aware. The next one is Sect Errands. When you're in a sect, you will get these different errands that you can do, which will refresh every day. You have 6 of them, and the maximum amount of reputation you can gain every week is 1,200. So if you want to hit that score, then you need to be doing these every day. We can just check this countdown, and it should reset our daily tasks as it just did. This reputation that you collect by doing these errands, you can spend at the sect shop here to get certain cosmetics depending what sect you're in. Then you can get some hairstyles if you haven't already collected them all. You will need to go to your aunt's house here. We can teleport to the blissful retreat, cross the little stream here, head up the hill, and you have the house just here. Going inside, there's a mirror, which you can then comb your hair, and every time you do it twice per day, you unlock a new appearance, a new hairstyle, and you can't do it a third time. Just twice per day. So just in case you actually want to go and unlock those. So we can check that off. Finally, on the daily tasks is gathering. There's quite a few reasons you may want to do this. Number one being for the development materials needed for mystic skills, such as these pearls. You can check in the develop tab here, your build these mystic skills, and when you want to go and upgrade these, they require these special ingredients which you can get by gathering. This is an extra way to just farm them outside of just obtaining a limited amount from these shops. Now the drop rate's pretty abysmal, and I'd recommend increasing it by getting food when you go down here to the Forsaken Quarter and heading east here until you see this guy. On the mini-map, it's like that bowl. You speak to him, ask him to let me have a taste. He will look at your reputation, and then you can purchase here. You will need to buy 10 of these normal wheat rice before you can purchase the better stuff. And once you purchase 5 of this, then you should max out his affection and also get these inner way note chests. And then you can use this food while gathering those herbs, which you can easily track by clicking on the item you want to obtain, either via your inventory or via the develop tab here, and clicking on that herb. And now it will track all the locations of that herb, and I can go there and gather them. It will show it within an area. And you'll do this for the different type of ones as well. By all means, if you don't have the spare time, don't do this, because it's going to require harvesting like 15 of them just to get one of these special drops. And that's while having the 20% extra food here. And it does give crit, as you can see via the tooltip here, for 10 minutes. It must be some translation issues that it says extra harvests there. I also recommend visiting all of the different food merchants. Credit to this guy here for sharing this image, which shows the location of every single food merchant. And visiting those, buying 10 of the base food and then 5 of the higher level food. You actually don't have to buy 5 of the higher level food. You can just buy, I believe, 10 again of the lower food. You will max out their affection, and they'll give you 2 inner way note chests, which is very valuable. And later on, when we get the second map section, you can get this. I'll leave a link below to this Reddit post, and may as well give him an upvote for that share. But from here, we go to the weekly tasks, and these are very important. So you have your 20,000 jade fish and the store. So you want to do this every single week. These jade fish are really valuable. And you can see the season shop here. This will allow you to buy a lot of different upgrade materials, including your inner way note chests, which are really valuable to upgrade those inner ways. Custom tips for martial arts, so you can get breakthroughs on your weapons, so you can upgrade them further. And also mystic skill reagents to upgrade those mystic skills. And some extra materials here as well if you run out. And you can also get those commerce coins, which are needed to buy the food at these merchants, as you can see here. When you also click on the fish, it'll show you. You can earn 20,000 every week. So you want to do so, and you'll also need to hit that 20,000 to purchase some of these items. They require you to hit that limit before you can buy them. In the gear chest section, you can also buy this gear here, use it for tuning or to get some items that are useful to you. And when we get higher tiers, you'll be able to buy higher level gear as well. Also, if you want to upgrade your professions, I recommend buying these, especially the career notebooks, to actually go ahead and level up those professions. Personally, leveling up medicine here for the healer, so that I'll actually be able to craft these potions. If you're wondering how to get that 20,000 jade fish very easily, simply by doing bounties. You can get 500 to 750 per bounty. You can see here in the wandering path, the bounties. You can go to Vendetta, and if you click or here to refresh, you will pop up a bunch, and they'll have 750 usually around here. You can sometimes get bounties versus players, which give a lot more jade fish. This is only 1,000 though. Some will give you upwards of 5,000. But yeah, this is a super easy way to get all of these jade fish that you need outside of the other activities that will just give it anyway. And if you go to season here, you have upgrade realm, and you want to be making sure that you get the 15,000, these activity points, and every fish will give you 1 activity point. So there's another reason to get 15,000 jade fish. So after that, we have the Battle Pass store. We can find that clicking on Battle Pass here, claim the points for doing these tasks, and claim the rewards from the track here, and go to your shop. I wouldn't be tempted to buy these other items, just save this currency, as it can be very important to get these material chests, especially the Mystic Skill Breakthrough resources and these here. From there, we go to the general goods vendors. There are 2 of them on your map, and you will need them for enhancing your gear here. This will save you a lot of time, so you don't need to go out gathering this material. One of them that I recommend buying weekly is this coarse fur, and there are 2 general goods merchants. There's one here in the first map region, and there's another down here in Kaifeng. On top of that, if we're looking at crafting potions, you can purchase herbs from those general goods merchants too, as a weekly cap. You can again see exactly here where you can find those merchants. This guy's situated there. If you have my settings on the checklist, you can read here. These are the 4 different ones I would recommend buying out every week, at least until you upgrade to the next level of potion and no longer need those materials for enhancing. Next up would be the Hero Realm, the raid. You find that in Wandering Paths, you go to Challenges, and you go to Hero's Realm. And this is where you find our first raid. And you want to do this every week once until you get a check mark for those rewards. There's 2 bosses, and you can select here which boss you want to do. So if you've already done the first but got a group that couldn't do the second and need to find a new group to do the second, you can queue like that. And this has some pretty good rewards that you don't really want to miss out on. Be aware, there is the option, if you can't deal with other players, to just fill the group with AI, with bots, but you get a bit less rewards. So try and do that. The next is the guild version of the raid. So once you've joined a guild here, you can go to event, and in weekly must do, you have the Guild Heroes Realm. I have not done it yet, but this can get you 10 gear chests along with these extra rewards, as long as you do this with guild members. You can, I believe, also do this with just bots, but you again get less rewards. So next is some casual co-op events. So fireworks and the Mirage boat. You go to your Wandering Paths here, casual co-op, and you will find the fireworks show. And this can give you some decent rewards, including Innerway notes, other upgrade materials, and you have the Mirage boat as well, which similarly gives you those rewards. Then, if you're looking at getting some free cosmetics, you can get 3 lingering melodies per week. These are used in the draw here, this normal draw, to have a chance at certain cosmetics. You can see drop rates and things like that all listed here, and you use that lingering melody. So if you go to the season shop here, in the appearance exchange, you will find you can get 1 lingering melody for 200 of these Echo Jades. And also if you go to the regular shop, you go to items and you scroll down here, you can get another 2 more lingering melodies per week with another 200 of these Echo Jades. However, I personally would not spend my Echo Jades on this. You're better off going to these merchants, like this guy at this teleport point, and you purchase Innerway notes. You can see what he's selling, and that's this here. Even if you're not going to use these, you can still melt them down by going to develop, going to abilities, Innerway, clicking on this icon up here, and go to tips recycle. And you recycle the notes you don't want. In exchange, you get this currency, which allows you to buy more of these packs, which can give you the notes that you do want. And you need an absolute ton of those notes to be able to actually upgrade these Innerways, which can end up being pretty powerful. So I would prioritize spending my Echo Jades on that rather than some cosmetics. But then we have the 175k coins. If this doesn't happen automatically, then you're probably not doing the other activities prior to this, but you can see the maximum cap per week is 175,000 of these coins. You can of course obtain a lot more by going to the season shop and purchasing these packs like I did this week. And they have a weekly stock of nearly 1,000, but it uses those jade fish And so make sure you're buying out all these items before you spend any to get coins. And those coins you use for so many different things, like upgrading your character, buying materials, etc. Finally is trade commission. You may never have heard of this, but it can be useful if you're looking at getting more commerce coins. You should, however, be able to get more than enough commerce coins via the season shop here, along with a lot of them from the Meow Meow shop at a limited supply. However, if you want more, you can do some buying and selling. So you can go to this guy here in Kaifang, you can speak to this guy, and you can buy his items when they're cheap, and then sell them when they're expensive. And that way you flip a profit. You will go to this guy nearby, and you will sell some goods. For example, if we bought this when it was cheap, we can now sell it back at a much higher price, gaining a profit. You will have to keep an eye out on those prices. I found a guy on Reddit who made a little bit of a guide for that here, so you can read through these if you want. And if I can find the original Reddit post, I'll leave that linked below. So that's ultimately it for the checklist. A further note on gathering, it can be useful not just for those materials needed for developing your mystic skills, but also buff food. If we go to this area here, we can use the items we gather on this station to craft those potions. So you're simply gathering these herbs that you should anyway, and be able to then craft these potions. Make sure you're leveling up your healer profession. Over here, you can gather items to cook food. This food that heals you is simply for out of combat. It's not going to work in combat, and you can have it selected to use it automatically. But what's important is going to be the buff food. You can get items that are going to increase your physical attack and increase your hit points. So these are going to be very valuable, especially if you're looking for min-maxing on leaderboards and things. So that's another reason why gathering can be very important. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a daily thing, because you can go to the online mode and you can do more gathering there. It's just I believe you are contested with other players, although the respawn timer should be like 5 minutes, so it should be pretty easy to just continually farm. But that, I believe, is everything I wanted to share with regards to my daily and weekly checklist for where winds meet. Just be aware of these things and make sure you're not missing out on those store items. Now, if you do want the exact setup I have here, you're going to have to import the data I use. I will leave a link below, and this will lead you to be able to copy and paste this entire text document. Simply copy and paste that in here, and it should update it to be exactly what I have. The original looks like this via the creator, and so if I import mine here, we can see, boom, it has correctly done so. And again, you can click on these things and you can read some text that I have written. You can add your own, you can remove tasks by Xing them, and you can type in a title here, add it, add some notes, and change the icon like this to here. Again, huge credit for this guy for actually creating the tool and allowing for that customization. So once again, massive thank you to all my channel members for your extra support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys around.